who is in your Premier League 2020/21 team of the season? That's what I'm asking James, who's a Liverpool fan from TTM Sports today. James, how are you?
Very well, thank you very much, and thank you for inviting me on.
Thank you very much for coming on. James, as you can see, has got his own YouTube channel. There it is, TTM Sports. You can check it out using the link in the description down below. Go and hit the subscribe button over there. But James, a Liverpool fan, sum up your season for us.
It's from the unbelievable enigmatic highs that we experienced over the past 3 years. You know, when you lose 6 games at home in a row, it's not going to be a title defending season. As far as I'm concerned, the fact that we finished 3rd, I'll take that. I'll take that all day long, considering where we were. I remember coming onto your show mid-season when Liverpool were in the midst of that terrible, terrible run at home, and you had 2 Everton fans on, and with 2 Man United fans as well, I believe. And the abuse I took, you know, I don't think they realised when I turned around and I said, look, you know, we will finish in the top 4 because I have faith in my team. And, you know, they all laughed at me. Well, I have to say, they're not laughing now, are they?
I'm going to clip that. So that goes to those people. So that is your message. And, well, what a turnaround. And praise has got to go to Jurgen Klopp. As much as I hate to say it, from the position using your 8th and 9th choice centre-backs, from being in 8th and 9th in, what was it, January or whatever, to finishing 3rd, somehow creeping into that Champions League spot and finishing 3rd. Absolutely incredible rebuild in the second half of the season.
Yeah, it was fantastic. And I think the change in fortunes for us really started as soon as he moved Fabinho back out of central defence, back into his favoured holding role in the centre of our midfield, and just brought in 2 legitimate, bona fide centre-backs. And yes, of course, they took a couple of games to get going. But as soon as we had 2 normal centre-backs at the back for us, it released the rest of the team to go and do what they do best. And, you know, our form in the last 10 games of the season, undefeated in 10, winning 8 of them. And those 2 draws, let's not forget, were against Leeds and Newcastle in the 95th minute at Anfield. We've gone out and signed Ibrahima Konate for £36.5 million. Really good deal. All of a sudden, we now have strength and depth at the back. Heading into next season, I can't wait. Fans back into the stadium. I feel like we're getting our club back. I feel like we're getting our mojo back, our self-respect back. And I think it's about time now that, you know, we go and challenge. Just look at Manchester City this week with 6 or 7 of their established first team players coming out and saying they're available for transfer. And that's them, you know, Raheem Sterling, Rodri, Cancelo, Riyad Mahrez has been linked with a move away as well. So obviously all isn't all hunky-dory as it seems. Man United are going to look good again next season. To be fair to them, I think they've done really well. But, you know, for all you Man United fans out there, best season you've had in umpteen years, worst season Liverpool have had in God knows how many years, and there's only 5 points difference. So actually, when you really look at it, it's not all doom and gloom for us at all.
There we go. I completely agree with that. And, you know, problems at Manchester City as you put up players being linked away in the summer, but it's going to be a very intriguing summer transfer window for us all. But we'll get into your team then, James. Yes. We'll get into your team. We'll start in goal. Who have you gone for?
I've gone for the Brazilian wonder. I have gone for Alisson Becker. As far as I'm concerned, it would have been very easy for me to go for, I like the guy at Aston Villa, Martinez. I think he's done well. However, he's in there purely for the fact that he scores an 87th or 90th minute winner in a crucial game, which ultimately has ended up helping us qualify for the Champions League. And do you know what? All the way through that run, those results where we were losing 1-0 and 2-1 at home, without him, it would have been absolutely bedlam. We would have conceded 3, 4. This guy has been saving us week after week after week. I think he's a safe bet, and that also allows me in my team of the year to free up more spaces for Manchester City players, because rightly so that there are a few.
Yeah, it wasn't even the 90th minute; it was the 95th minute winner from Alisson in that West Brom game. absolutely incredible. And you know what's happened with him off the pitch as well this season, to come back and have a fantastic season, really, really shows the character of the man. Another good season for him. But we're moving to your back four then. Now your right back. This is the first time this player's come up, and I'm surprised this is the first time because I've really, really rated him over the last couple of years. Who's your right back?
My right back for this season is Kyle Walker. I think he's been outstanding. I think technically he's sound, physically strong, imposing. Acceleration is exceptional. As a Liverpool fan, everybody would always assume that we'd just put Trent Alexander-Arnold in there. And do you know what? His form over the past 10, 11 games has been fantastic. However, this is a season game, and you have to rank players across an entire season. And I completely believe that this guy's been fantastic. We recently did a show where we picked our Euro teams, and I went for a back three with England and 2 wing backs so I could squeeze Trent in. But Kyle Walker was on the right side of that. I think he's playing really well. I think he's maturing as his years go on as well onto the field. He is part of that famed Pep Guardiola leadership group at Manchester City, which is 5 of those first teamers. He's got 5 captains in effect, into which Kyle Walker is one. Kyle Walker, for me, absolutely outstanding, completely deserves his position in that team.
I completely agree. And his pace just gives that extra element for Manchester City down that right-hand side. But we'll move into your centre-backs then. One of them I really, really like, but we'll start with your next Manchester City player. Who have you gone for?
Yeah, I've gone for Mr. Diaz. I think he's been a revelation. Look, there is one centre-back in the league that is better than him, and that will maybe cause controversy, but it's just a fact. Virgil van Dijk is the number 1 centre-back in this league, but he's not been available, so I can't pick him. The next best for me, and the best this season, has been Diaz. Calm, dependable, showing great leadership qualities, excellent ball playing ability. I think he's been absolutely outstanding. And then, 50 million quid as well. Bargain in this hyper-inflated market in a crazy world of transfer fees that we live into, today. I think Ruben Diaz has been absolutely fantastic, phenomenal. The fact that Laporte can't get into the team says to me, this boy's the real deal. Class act.
Yeah, I agree. From one class act to another next. Who is your second centre-back? Now, my finger is poised on something. I'm sure you know what it is, but who is your second centre-back?
Well, I've decided to put people in on form. Craig Dawson. For me, West Ham's performances this season as a team have been outstanding. I think that Craig Dawson has been excellent whenever called upon, solid, dependable. I mean, how much was that? I mean, how much did you pay for him? Or is he on loan? Or, you've got a great £2 million.
That one there, 2 million quid.
2 million quid. So if you look in hindsight at Liverpool's deal for Ben Davies at around £4 million, he hasn't played a game. £2 million, he's played week in, week out, and he's starting to maybe deliver on that promise that he showed all those years ago early on in his career at West Brom. But as far as I'm concerned, West Ham have had an incredible season. And I truly believe that Craig Dawson has been fantastic in the spine of that West Ham team. As you go through a spine, good goalie, good defender, good central midfielder, good striker. I do have someone else from that West Ham spine in my team as we find ourselves further down the list. But Craig Dawson, for me, absolutely fantastic.
Well, Craig does have a message for you. There he is, Craig. So thank you very much, James, for being the second person to put me in the team of the year, team of the season, I should say. Very, very, very pleased to be in. I'll be back playing Napoli or whoever in the Europa League, winning the Europa League with West Ham, going to the Champions League, beating Messi, Ronaldo at the Bernabeu, and my career will continue on. There you go.
Fantastic.
That's Craig Dawson.
Well, thank you very much, Craig, and hopefully we can get you onto the TTM Sports Show soon.
There you go. Oh, what a man. But putting all that to the side, we'll move to your left back then. Who've you gone for?
Yeah, it was a choice of 2. It was either Ben Chilwell or Luke Shaw. I've gone with Luke Shaw. Well-documented weight issues. When you look at him, aesthetically, he doesn't look quite a prime example of a footballer. However, on closer inspection, it's muscle. This guy's been outstanding. Gareth Southgate slamming the door shut and bolting it to Luke Shaw. Well, he's become Superman and he's knocked the door through with his feet. He is at the door and on the cusp of a Euro 2021 call-up with the England team, and rightly so. I think he's been outstanding. We all remember him bombing down at left wing back, really, for Southampton earlier on in his career. Mourinho, the way he treated him, I thought was absolutely disgraceful. It was mentioned on another team of the year. I think it was Sean Lewis brought up the fact that he had to be talked through a game. I agree with Sean 100%. I don't agree with him that Tottenham do well in the future and stuff like this. I don't. I think they've had it. However, as far as I'm concerned, in terms of Luke Shaw, I think he's right there, and I agree with him. Luke Shaw, for me, the outstanding left back of the season.
Yeah, I agree. Proved the doubters wrong this season, that is for sure. Well, that is a class back line. I'm going to admit it. There's some very good players in there, but the standout's got to be Craig Dawson. But we'll move to your midfield. We will move to your midfield then. The first of your two central midfielders then.
Okay, so I'm going to go with a West Ham boy. I think he's been fantastic. Declan Rice. His midfield partnership with Thomas Souček has been workmanlike. However, all teams need those guys to pick up the dirty work. Declan Rice has not only picked up the dirty work, he's actually contributed going forward as well. And his presence within the dressing room, for me, has been remarkable with the introduction of Jesse Lingard into that West Ham team. Declan Rice has been solid, dependable, can be counted on, and for me is a dead cert to start in that England team at the Euros. If he doesn't start, I'll be a bit disappointed. As far as I'm concerned, absolutely. And it's going back to the spine. It's no wonder we've got two West Ham players straight down the spine of my team. And as far as I'm concerned, it's a testament to the great season that they've had this season. The big test for Declan Rice will be this. If he stays at West Ham this season, which I expect him to for this season, can he back it up? I really hope he can. He's shown great promise, great potential. He's just got to keep going. But for me, he's been fantastic.
Yeah, I completely agree. And for me, I think in the Euros and in tournaments to come, he's got to be one of the first names on the team sheet for Gareth Southgate. I think, we'll come to what another player that I'm going to mention now. Mason Mount, Phil Foden, Declan Rice in an England midfield. The sky is the limit for every single one of those three. And, absolutely fantastic player. And I hope that he stays at West Ham for at least another 2 years. But it's football. Anything can happen. Tomorrow, the next day, anything can happen. But fantastic.
He'll definitely stay for one. Whether he stays for two, I'm not so sure. But if West Ham have a good season next season, then why won't he stay? That's my feeling on that.
Yeah, I agree. We will move into your second central midfielder then, who's going to accompany or maybe play a little bit further upfield from Declan Rice. Who's your second central midfielder?
I've gone for Manchester City's Ilkay Gundogan. I think he's been sensational. As far as I'm concerned, Pep brought him back into the team. Has he not finished Man City's top scorer this season? Ilkay Gundogan, absolute fantastic. The two best managers in our league, Pep Guardiola and Jurgen Klopp. Jurgen Klopp played him week in, week out at Dortmund. Pep Guardiola is now playing him week in, week out for Manchester City. To be the top scorer in that team is no mean feat. And for a central midfielder to get it, absolutely fantastic. Again, solid, dependable. He's a consistent 7.5 out of 10. And if you're playing Football Manager, that's what you're looking for. But this guy is absolutely fantastic and a dead cert to start for Germany at the Euros, no doubt.
Yeah, I agree. Chipping in with 17 goals this season ain't bad at all, that is for sure. We'll move out to the flanks then. We will start on the left-hand side. Who have you gone for in your left midfield role?
Bringing in Phil Foden. As a Liverpool fan, he tore the soul out of my body. He ripped the heart out of my chest. He proceeded to eat it and spit it out onto the Anfield turf as he struck that wonderful goal into the roof of the net. It was a toss-up between him and Bruno Fernandes. Bruno Fernandes isn't in my team. I don't believe he turns up for the big games. Half of his goals are penalties. He spends more time in the air than a gazebo in a hurricane. As far as I'm concerned, Phil Foden, for me, has been a revelation. There's always a breakout star at a tournament. England's last breakout star, you would argue, would have been Wayne Rooney at Euro 2004. I'm beginning to wonder, are the stars aligning for Phil Foden at this tournament for England? I think he has been absolutely outstanding. Again, as a Liverpool fan, it pains me to say it. It's true. I don't want to see Man City concede, achieve. I don't want to see him. As far as I'm concerned, Manchester City have had their whole existence over this past 15 years handed to them on a plate, and they should have been banned from the Champions League, and they only took them to the Court of Arbitration of Sport to give them a slap on the wrist and a chump change fine to get into the Champions League. So as far as I'm concerned, Phil Foden has done it properly. He's come up through the youth ranks. He's worked his way into a team of superstars. He hasn't been brought into the club to play for money. He plays for his team to play for pride, for passion, because he loves his club. And I think this guy's outstanding. I see shades from Phil Foden of someone like an Iniesta. And a lot of people say he's more of a winger. I believe he can play a bit more centrally behind the strikers and just pick the pockets, play those wonderful little through balls through for the strikers to attack. I think he's that good. I think he could go on and play for someone like Barcelona. I think he's really technically sound and a great attitude as well. You never see him in any papers like Mason Greenwood. And I know he was involved with Mason Greenwood on England duty, but upon further inspection, it was Greenwood that had lured this kid into something he didn't want to do. And the fact that Foden has gone on to represent England again countless times and Mason Greenwood hasn't tells me that his attitude's spot on. Great player, and I think scares the life out of defenders right now.
Yeah, I completely agree. Fantastic young player. We'll move out to the right-hand side then. Who is your right midfielder?
Well, the right midfielder that I'm going for, this team can be highly flexible. You can play with a front three or you can play 4-4-2. I'm going to chuck De Bruyne out there. I've got to get him in the team. I have to get Kevin De Bruyne in the team. Absolutely fantastic. Again, it's my third Manchester City player, and rightfully so. The fact that I'm only going to select 2 Liverpool players in this team tells the story. He's incredible. I think he is Steven Gerrard and Frank Lampard potentially rolled into one. 2-footed, excellent, scores 35-yard pile drivers on either foot, physically imposing, dead ball specialist, unbelievable brain, a manager's dream. I think this guy is absolutely outstanding, and Jose Mourinho really must be kicking himself at not giving this guy a chance at Chelsea when he was the manager. For me, this season, Kevin De Bruyne, again, has just raised the bar. When you compare him to Bruno Fernandes and you look at the characteristics of both of them, Kevin De Bruyne doesn't, score penalties for a living. This guy scores genuine, bona fide, world-class goals on the reg, and he also assists them as well. I think he's outstanding, and a lot of time and respect for Kevin De Bruyne. Or even as a Liverpool fan, he doesn't frighten the life out of me because we've got Van Dijk. However, when he's standing over a dead ball on that right wing, and you've got people in that Man City box like Diaz, like Stones, and back in the day, Company and Aguero, when you just know he'll put it on a sixpence, it does go through your mind. Could be in a bit of trouble here, but Kevin De Bruyne, outstanding talent, and a lot of respect for him.
Yeah, completely agree. Let's move into your strikers then. The first of your 2 strikers, who have you gone for?
Well, I've gone for Mohamed Salah. He could be described as a striker or a right winger. Again, this team can be turned around to play a 4-4-2 or 4-3-3 with Salah cutting in from the right-hand side. I'm stunned. In fact, I'm staggered to some of the people that have come on and put their team of the year in, and no one's selecting Mo Salah, a right winger. Again, and in the last 4 years, he's been in the top 2 highest scorers in the Premier League. This is remember, Liverpool's worst season for years and years, according to those Everton and Manchester United fans. Still, it goes down to the last day to be potentially the top scorer in the entire league as a right winger. I think he's a revelation. I think we need to keep him. I think he's outstanding, Mo Salah. He's an absolute god in his homeland, and rightfully so. You never see him in any off-the-field activities or anything like that. This guy is straight down the middle, football devoted. I think he's a class act, and for me, he has to be in that team. Mo Salah gets goals. If you want your team to succeed, I think you need goals, and Mo Salah is someone who consistently and vibrantly supplies them in absolute essence.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I completely agree. He's just got that eye for goal, and that's all you've got to say. Who is your final player then? Who is going to complete James' 2020/21 Premier League team of the season?
Well, it's a striker that's going to be in Manchester potentially in 3 months. It's Harry Kane. In a massively underperforming and underwhelming Tottenham team, this guy has been fantastic. He does strike fear into the hearts of defenders and opposition fans alike. He is England's talisman, will be the top scorer for our country, no doubt, unless anything unbelievably drastic happens to him. I think he's outstanding. Top scorer in the Premier League. You know, if you haven't got your top scorers of your Premier League current campaign in your team, then I don't know what you're doing. But as far as I'm concerned, he would be the first player on my team sheet in a Premier League 11 right now. He's the top scorer. He is a talisman, a captain, a leader, fantastic attitude, relentless pursuit of goals, same as Mo Salah. I think he has to leave Tottenham now to benefit his career. A lot of Tottenham fans coming out saying, well, you know, if Pochettino comes back, that could convince him to stay. Tottenham don't win anything. Tottenham haven't won anything for years and years and years and years. And they had one Carling Cup success. Well, that's great. What about before that? Nothing. He's given a lot of time, a lot of years, a lot of energy, a lot of his love for Tottenham. But there comes a time in everybody's career, as Fernando Torres once famously said to us Liverpool fans, every so often, a train comes along. And sometimes you have to hop on that train to success. You know, he won the Champions League with Chelsea 2 seasons later. As far as I'm concerned, Harry Kane has to leave Tottenham for the good of football. And he deserves to play on that stage. For me, he completes that team. And I'd slap the captain's armband on him as well.
Yeah, I completely agree. He scores goals, he needs to win trophies, and he's not going to do that at Spurs. It's as simple as that. So, just before I get to your manager, I'd like to thank our sponsors for this series. It is the Blowing Bubbles magazine. You can check out their link in the description down below. Where is it? If you use the discount code JakeCox at checkout when you buy a 11 when you buy a 11 magazine subscription or a yearly subscription, you can get £5 off your order. So please check out the link in the description down below, and if you do use that discount code and get that subscription, it will massively help the channel out as well. So if you do that, that will be absolutely fantastic and very good for the channel as well, to help me and I was going to say my crew. I don't have a crew. Create more of these videos for you. Right then, so let's finish off this team of the season. Who is your manager of the season? Who is going to manage this amazing side?
Well, I had 3 nominees. I had Thomas Tuchel as my first nominee. The job he come in to do at Chelsea after Frank Lampard, the hero and the messiah of Stamford Bridge, had done nothing. This guy's come in and turned them into European Cup winners and qualified for the Champions League. Nothing short of spectacular. However, I'm sure the £365 million spent the previous summer helped to go towards it. I would also say David Moyes. It was my second nominee. The job he did at West Ham was fantastic. However, I thought he could have potentially managed them better over those past 3 or 4 games at the end of the season. If he would have just kept his cool an inch more, I think you could have got there. But the team he's building at West Ham is not to be sniffed at. He's been fantastic for me. Reminded him of David Moyes at Everton, but playing a bit better football. Not so defensive and kick and run. These guys are playing nice, intricate stuff now. But for me, Jurgen Klopp, as a Liverpool fan, of course, I would always go with the god of Jurgen Klopp. This guy has had to deal with the death of his mother. Father went a few years ago. Couldn't visit her. Couldn't even go to her own funeral in Germany because of COVID-19 restrictions. The form that the club were going through, everything falling around him to the floor, everything. You know, you had Alisson, his father died. You know, you have to pick up one of the world's top superstars who couldn't go back to travel to Brazil to be with his family. So there's a lot that's gone on behind the scenes. The alleged fight between Andy Robertson and Alisson that we mentioned before on your show, that the details have never been released, but something did happen in that dressing room. So the dressing room was out of control, losing results at home to Fulham, losing to West Brom, all over the place. And for this manager to, in effect, grab it by the short and curlies and bring it back to finish third has been nothing short of remarkable. And could you imagine that team that's been picked today managed by him? I think they'll be practically unbeatable. Another honourable mention, Pep Guardiola, getting to semi-final FA Cup. Was it final of the Carling Cup? Well, they won it, didn't they? Won the league.
Yeah.
And obviously the final of the Champions League is another wonderful achievement. But for me, Jurgen Norbert Klopp, you are the manager of my team.
Very well said. Very well said. There we go. That is James' Premier League 2020/21 team of the season. Let's review it before we head in. I believe this is your team. Give or take some positions, mix some around. But this is the team: Alisson in goal, a back four of Shaw, Diaz, Dawson. I love that. Dawson and Walker, Foden, Rice, Gundogan, and Kevin De Bruyne, and a front two of Mo Salah and Harry Kane, who collectively this season have scored 23 and 22 goals between them. Whew, that's a team and a half, that is, James. Final thoughts?
It's a balanced team that can interchange formations. At the moment on Football Manager, I'm Club America in Mexico, and I'm really enjoying playing Chivas and Pumas and Tigres. I'm a real football connoisseur. Through TTM Sports, as you know, we interview people from within the sporting world, FIFA, Premier League, managers, former referees, Peter Drury, world famous commentator, boxing champions. We sort of do it all. But for me, Jake, you need to keep doing what you're doing. You're doing a great job. And if I had any ounce of talent that you have at your age, you're going to go on to do some wonderful things. And I think you should be really proud of yourself for what you're doing. You're a loyal fan as well of West Ham. You're not a plastic fan, which is good to see. And as far as I'm concerned, spot on, mate. Just keep doing what you're doing. And a lot of people will no doubt disagree with some of the comments that come out of my mouth during these things, but it's just facts. It's just real facts, and that's the game that we all know and love. Hundreds and thousands of different opinions, open debate, people with lots of different burgeoning ideas on how to play the game. It's just what makes it so wonderful and vibrant. It's incredible. But I challenge anybody to, get a better team than that for balance alone. Fantastic. I want to see yours.
Mine will be the last one. The last one of the series before the Euros. I will do mine. Putting everybody's into account, I will do a whole review of every single person's team of the season, put it all together, and then I will do mine to finish. But anyway, thank you very much for watching. Drop a like on today's video. Subscribe if you are new around here. Thank you very much to James for coming on, and from me, come on you eyes, and I'll see you very, very soon. Thank you very much for watching, and goodbye.